The shocking connection between black people and Chinese settlers. Shocking connections, hidden truths, centuries-old stories yet to be told. Have you ever wondered what secrets could unfold from the mingling of diverse cultures? What if we told you that there is the shocking connection between black people and Chinese settlers? Didn't you know, right? Yes, we're revealing the fascinating, often overlooked bonds of these two remarkable cultures. This isn't just an exploration of histories, but an awakening of shared roots and experiences that tie us together in ways you've never imagined. So let's begin. For a really long time, people have been wondering about where the Chinese people originally came from. But now, thanks to some cool new genetic research, we're starting to learn more about the deep connections between these two super old civilizations. It's very fascinating stuff. Did you know that back in 1998, the National Academy of Science in China conducted this really cool study called the Chinese Human Genome Diversity Project? It was very groundbreaking. So the goal of this study was to dig into the genetic origins of different races around the world. Thanks to DNA and gene testing, genetic engineers and biologists have been able to dig deep into the ancestral roots of different ethnic groups. Did you know that around 20% of the Chinese population actually has genes that are similar to those found in African Americans? It's very fascinating stuff. The results were absolutely mind-blowing. And it's nothing. We have a lot of shocking stuff related to both of these communities. Are you guys interested? Well, let's see. Basically, a lot of Chinese people have genetic patterns that are similar to those found in African populations. So it turns out that a lot of Chinese people actually have genetic roots in Africa. This discovery suggests there was an ancient migration that connected these two civilizations in ways we didn't know before. And this genetic evidence is just the beginning of our journey. And you know what's really interesting? Archaeological findings actually give us some pretty compelling evidence that there's a connection between black Africans and those ancient Chinese settlers. Africans, especially the Egyptians, have this incredible talent for building massive structures. Like the pyramids of Giza, it's very impressive. Pyramids weren't only found in Egypt. In China, there are around 100 pyramids. Oh, these pyramids? They're actually found at the mausoleum of the first Chinese emperor, Qin Shi Huang. Can you believe they're over 5,000 years old? Oh, did you know that the pyramids in Xi'an might actually suggest that Africans could have brought this construction style with them when they migrated to ancient China? Very fascinating, right? But you know what? There are actually some skeptics out there who think these pyramids are just hills that have been worn down by natural erosion. Yeah, there's some pretty convincing evidence that suggests these pyramids were built by ancient black Africans during the Mo-See civilization. Some people might argue about this, but researchers are really trying hard to figure out who built these pyramids all around the world. They're looking into what's inside them, how they were made, and the techniques used to construct them. It's quite a challenge, but they're determined to find out the true origin of these amazing structures. But here's an interesting thought. If there is evidence like that, it makes you wonder where are the records of Chinese emperors who might have had African ancestry. The historical records have uncovered something very fascinating. China has a fascinating history. One of the earliest rulerships was the Shang dynasty. They are credited with bringing together the earliest elements of China and forming its very first civilization. The Shang dynasty had a connection with the Naki people. The term Naki actually means black man in Chinese. Some people even suggest that this connection implies that the entire dynasty had black roots. Pretty interesting, right? Even the legendary first Chinese emperor, Fuxi, is described as a woolly-haired black man. It's fascinating how he laid the foundation for the Chinese government, social institutions, and cultural inventions. If we dig deeper into China's history, we'll come across some fascinating black emperors who really made their mark on the country. Let me tell you about Emperor Hongwu of the Ming Dynasty. He was quite an interesting character, with Sudanese and Mongolian heritage. The foundation of Shaolin Kung Fu is thought to have come from both Indian and African origins. It's really interesting how it shows the strong connection between Africa and martial arts in Asia. Archaeological studies have found evidence of black communities in early Chinese history. It's very fascinating. Chinese documents even mention powerful kingdoms that were ruled by black leaders. It's really interesting how there's a lot of evidence connecting Chinese and African civilizations. But surprisingly, some of these archaeological records have been suppressed or removed. It's quite puzzling, don't you think? It's interesting how some historians and researchers can somehow show bias when it comes to accepting the pyramids found in Xi'an City as evidence of black African roots, don't you think? Yeah, it's pretty clear that a good chunk of China's ancient history had some strong connections with Africa. It's not just some random claim. There's actually a bunch of historical accounts and folklore that back up the existence of black emperors and kingdoms in China. When we explore these hidden connections, we get to uncover the fascinating tapestry of human history. It really highlights how different civilizations throughout time have been interconnected. It really makes you think, doesn't it? We're being encouraged to question the stories we've always been told and to accept the possibility that all races might have originated from black Africans. Our main aim is to highlight these stories and really celebrate the amazing contributions and rich heritage of black culture. We also want to uncover the evidence that shows how black people have excelled in different aspects of human civilization. Hey, let's keep diving into the super interesting connections between black Africans and early Chinese settlers. It's important to talk about why this shared heritage is so significant. These findings really make us rethink what we know about world history. It's clear that we need to take a fresh look at the traditional stories we've been told because they often leave out amazing contributions of black cultures. It's really important to recognize how black Africans influence ancient Chinese civilizations. When we do that, we're not only showing respect for the amazing heritage of black culture, but we're also gaining a better understanding of how different societies have always been connected throughout history. Also, these discoveries are really important because they help to challenge and change the unfair beliefs and misunderstandings that have caused racial biases to continue. When we talk about the African roots of early Chinese settlers, we're actually highlighting the fact that history is not as straightforward as we might think. It's important to recognize the diversity that has played a significant role in shaping our world rather than assuming a homogeneous history. It's really important to recognize the African influence on ancient Chinese civilizations. When we understand this, it helps us to overcome ignorance and appreciate the shared heritage that connects all of humanity. As we dive deeper into the captivating story of human history, it's important to keep an open mind and be ready to question commonly held beliefs. The purpose of this exploration isn't to create divisions, but rather to help us better understand where we all come from and how we can come together, regardless of our race or culture. I think it's important to acknowledge the evidence of black superiority in different areas of ancient civilizations. By doing so, we can promote a more inclusive viewpoint on human accomplishments and help foster mutual respect among all cultures and races. So to sum it up, our exploration of the genetic and archaeological evidence connecting black Africans and early Chinese settlers uncovers a fascinating part of history that really should be acknowledged and appreciated. It's really fascinating how these ancient civilizations are so deeply connected. It's like they challenge what we thought we knew and show us just how interconnected human societies really are. We could celebrate the amazing contributions of black culture to world history and promote a better understanding of human excellence by exploring and embracing our shared heritage. Let's keep on seeking knowledge, breaking down barriers, and bringing people together by exploring our shared history. Thanks for joining us on this enlightening adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. We hope you've had a great time watching this eye-opening episode. Hey there! If you found our content intriguing, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us a like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty more thought-provoking content on black culture, history, and the evidence supporting black excellence coming your way. Thanks for being here with us today. Make sure to stay tuned for our next video, and let's celebrate the amazing diversity of human history together.